probably while we're still married that I wasn't home long enough to get on her nerves too much.
No, because you're such a handsome guy.
It's only half our marriage that we've really been together. Well, I can't even say that. When I retired from the Navy, I got in the hotel business, and I was on the road 75% of the time. But she did get to travel with me sometime then, so that was okay. So I guess it all balances out. Life never works out the way you planned it to anyway. That's a sure thing.
That is true.
Agree on it. All stories have a beginning. I've got to tell you about when I first met my lovely bride.
Aww.
I had a best friend at the time who was engaged to her college roommate. She was going to San Diego State University then. And we went over to their place one evening. He asked me to come along, mainly because I had the car and he didn't.
Good friend.
A small little apartment, as most college apartments are. And the first sight I caught of her was her head was in the oven, cleaning an oven. So I got the best view of her. Fortunately, when I saw the other part, it was pretty good too.
I haven't heard that one yet.
We went on from there and had several dates, and I guess knew each other, what, 4 months?
Not quite.
Not quite. Her father, who had only
96
met
days.
me one time, told her mother that she was going to marry me. Now, how he knew that, I don't know. He had never met me before.
He was a good judge of character.
Well, maybe.
Well, probably no one can let go of that face.
Huh? You do what?
Oh.
Whatever.
He said no one can let go of that face.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
Whatever you're trying to say, I don't know. It's either a compliment or the other way.
It's a compliment.
I think it was a compliment.
Yeah.
And from there, 4 months, we got married. She came up to Washington State, where I just got transferred to a Naval Air Station up there. I had an uncle that lived in the area, and he and his wife and family kind of acted as our chaperones and planned the wedding and what have you. Fortunately, her parents and my mother at the time was able to come out and be at the wedding. So we had a very small wedding, just a couple of other folks too.
12 people.
Yeah.
350.
But there were people betting on, they only knew each other 4 months. That's not going to last very long. Especially after about 4 months, I had to go to sea duty. I was gone for about 8 or 9 months. Aboard one of those big floating flat tops out there in the Western Pacific. But I came back, and then we got transferred to Virginia. And from there, we came back to Oak Harbor, Washington, to the Naval Air Station. And we were fairly fortunate in being able to spend most of our career in one place. At least the family was able to stay there. I was back and forth between sea and shore duty, of course. But as military careers go, the family was able to stay in pretty well one place. I'm not sure Rob has ever forgiven me for taking him away from there, but that's the way things go. And then we moved to Hawaii. I was selected as the Fleet Master Chief, Pacific Fleet. Which doesn't mean anything to you folks, but
It's a big deal.
it's a pretty big stick in the Navy.
Huge deal.
After that tour, I deliberately took a small step-down twilight tour, we call it in the Navy, 2 years just to get prepped for retirement. And that's why I picked a job as a Command Master Chief at Millington, the training station that used to be there. From there, I got involved in the hotel business and a lot of travel. Oh. Hi.
These are our neighbors, Greg and Karen Flippin.
Yeah. Well,
We're missing our other neighbor.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Well, they have a new baby. Takes time to get new babies
true.
ready.
Whatever. But anyway, welcome. You missed the exciting life story of our Yeah. And when I finished getting ready and retired from the hotel business, and I think perhaps, I don't know, said I had all the fun I could stand in the Memphis area. So let's get out of there and look for a nice, peaceful place for our boys, grandsons to grow up. Here we are to do that. We found a nice church to get involved with. Pat's more involved than I am. Not that I'm a heathen, it's just that I don't do it as much as I should probably to do that. We're very appreciative of all of you coming. As always, when you plan things like this, the list is longer initially than the people who can come for one reason or another. Either they live too far or something came up at the last minute or what have you. But anyway, we're here. Plenty of food, good food. These folks do good down here, I'll tell you. And just eat to your heart's content and visit and have a good time. When we finish here, I think we have to be out of here by 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. And for those who can, please stop back by the house and we can visit a little more if you choose to. I don't know what your plans are, but you're welcome to do that.
We got this. Honey, we got this.
Oh, yes. Good heavens.
I'll even stand up for it.
Pat found this a few years ago and she hung on to it. And I didn't even know it. But I think it's kind of a good summary of how we've felt about our marriage and how it's worked out to be. In our marriage, like all marriages, there are good times and bad times.
Ups and downs.
Hopefully you hang on, though, and work your way through them. And we have. That's not to say there was ever any thought of breaking our vows or splitting the marriage. It's just, like when Vietnam was going on, I was gone for almost 3 years in a row there. One time or another. That's hard on a marriage.
Oh, yeah.
She
It's
has
hard
to
on
be
the
mother
kids,
and father and everything to do that.
It's hard on the kids too, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think this kind of gets us through, if you'll just bear with me.
This is a poem by Marjorie Holmes.
Okay. It says, "The good days of marriage. Dear Lord, thank you for the good days of marriage. The days when we wake up pleased with each other, our jobs, our children, our home, and ourselves.
Thank you for our communication. The times when we can really talk to each other and the times when we understand each other without so much as a gesture or word.
Thank you for our companionship. The times when we can work together at projects we both enjoy, or work in our separate fields and yet have that sense of sharing that can only come when two persons' lives have merged in so many ways so long. Thank you that we don't feel cut off from each other, no matter how divergent the things we do.
Thank you for our times of privacy, our times of freedom, our relaxed sense of personal trust.
Thank you that we don't have to clutch and stifle each other, that we have learned to respect ourselves enough to respect the other's individuality.
Thank you, Lord, that despite the many storms of marriage, we have reached these particular shores. Help us to remember them. Help us to hold fast to them, Lord.
Hoorah!
Lynn's crying.
Steve, would you do the honors of saying blessing before we chow down?
Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together for this special occasion, celebration of our marriage. Thank you for this food, Lord, and bless us the nourishment of our bodies, Lord. Lead and guide. Give those that traveling mercies when they leave us today. Thank you for the memories. They're being built here today, and we pray in your name.
I must say we have one other thing to be thankful. We have a newly minted high school graduate.
Yay!
And we have a newly minted almost great grandson.
He was 1 year old Thursday.
You like those